Hello. Sorry for the very short notice. I see there's already two of you, Bailey and Ben. Thank you very much. Actually, on a sort of housekeeping note, if he shows up, because I think he's been at every live stream, Baron von something or other. I have need of um, a moderator at some point for something that will become quite obvious. Oh, there's 3 thumbs up, or just 2 thumbs up from Bring the Fire, you know. As Catholics know, 5 thumbs up means Bring the Fire. You'll notice I'm also drinking what most people think is an abhorrent beer, Cobra. It's like an Indian, it's basically mostly water with a hint of the taste of beer. And very good. Oh, wow, there's already 14 of you. So, if Baron von whatever your name is, you're usually in the chat. If he comes up, just somebody let me know, because I want to offer him, if it's possible, I don't even know if it's possible, to be a mod for the next stream I do. Hello, AJ Rhino. So, there has been some... Oh, we got the 1 down voter. Everybody's here today. Oh, no, it turned back into an up. Maybe it was just the wrong button. So there's been an interesting development as a result of my inquisition of the heretic Owen Benjamin. I was contacted via YouTube by a guy called eScorpio, and he's from the Reddit's Gamma Secret Kings, and I think he's also quite active on the Reddit of Owen Benjamin. Now, both Secret Kings and Owen Benjamin are essentially they're hives of gammas that basically try and take down, denigrate, and just pile on, basically, mostly to Owen, quite a bit to Vox, and to a certain minor extent myself as well. I think I've mentioned them before, that are like some months ago. I mean, this was a while back. I don't even remember how far back. I don't remember how it stumbled upon them or whatever, but I'd seen that there's a guy that does memes of these action figures, and they've got like the action figures of Owen, they've got the action figure of Vox, they have the action figure of me, and I actually found it quite funny. I mean, there's, not all the memes are great, some of them are quite funny, but a lot of them are quite sort of mean-minded. And anyway, because of this invitation, and I have completely lost track of time and days, because we were basically waiting for a whole day for my daughter to be born. So I had some time, and I browsed what I think most of the Owen Benjamin and the Gamma Secret Kings Reddits, and it is kind of a dumpster fire. And eScorpio is actually here. So this is the guy that invited me. If it's possible, and I don't know if I can do it while we're live streaming, but I'm gonna try and have him come on to Skype, just so we can have, like, the pre-fight intro or whatever. I had banned him originally. I've unbanned him because I banned him originally because he made quite a relatively funny comment. I made a funny comment back, and then I think he made quite a comment that was sort of taking himself and everything a bit too seriously. So I just banned him because I was like, fuck it, I don't have the time to, And they took great exception, the Gammas. I found out when I banned him. He had screen capped the comments, and I honestly don't remember what it was, but I saw it like the other day, where the Gammas thought that I deleted his comment because I didn't have a smart enough comeback. It's not that. It's just that when you ban the guy, it says remove comment and hide user or something like that. So I just clicked that, and that's it. Guy's comment and him is gone. So it's, I think, as the Gammas will soon realize, I don't have a need to hide from anybody or whatever. But so, as a result of that, they offered to do what they call an AMA, Ask Me Anything, on Reddit. I don't really know how to do Reddit, and I've just signed on today to try and figure it out, and I've answered a couple of questions, but then I get this bot that says that my message has been deleted because I haven't been there long enough. So I don't know if they've even seen my responses or whatever, but I know they're aware that I replied to eScorpio, and I said, okay, I'll tell you what, I'd rather do a stream because I don't really know how to use Reddit. I don't really have the time to figure it out, but it was pretty simple. At least I'm registered with the Reddit thing now anyway, with the Reddit app. So I should be able to, hopefully he's gonna stupid walk me through how to do an AMA thing, which will probably, I guess, stay open for a few days. And I've told him, there's some, what we've agreed, or rather what he proposed to begin with, which I thought was fair, was like, we're going to have a respectful, obviously some joking and whatever is allowed. I'm going to call gammas and whatever, they'll make fun of my Catholicism or bald head or what have you, but sort of in good jest. And generally, the whole point is we're going to be respectful, and any of their gammas, eScorpio said that any of their gammas that don't behave, or cross the line, like go after your kids or your family or something like that, will just be banned for life from from the Reddit. So if that's true, and if they're going to hold to it, it sounds fair enough. There are, I don't want to get too highly philosophical, but there are essentially some. He says he can call in for a bit until I'm a few minutes, no problem. I've given him my Skype name, so hopefully, let me just quickly see if I can go to that window. What happens? I don't know. Show all windows. All right. Well, hopefully he can find me on Skype, and maybe we can have a few minutes with him. That would be fun. So that's what's going to happen. At some point, we're going to have a live stream with eScorpio, which is going to be representative of all the gammas. And I've said that for that day, they can have, whatever gammas I haven't banned, because there's a slew of them that are already banned. I don't know which of them are on Reddit or not, and I'm not going to spend time going through unbanning whatever. If you are a gamma that's on Reddit and you got banned, tough titties. If you want to get on the chat, make it a new profile or whatever. But I was thinking that I would like to have a mod just in case it does become a proper dumpster fire. I don't want to have to be banning my own gammas. So there's, one of you that is willing to either attend or that has got more free time and that is almost sure to be around. And I don't even know if I have the ability to make mods, but if I do, I want to make one of you like the hammer guy, so that if I say drop the hammer, you can drop the hammer. Mostly I'm going to accept light ribbing or whatever. That's just, I've discussed with eScorpio what are the parameters. He's agreed to them and said they're more than fair. I'm willing to field whatever questions, with the proviso that, I am not Vox, I am not Owen, I don't really know what they're up to. So I'm not going to answer any personal questions about the family of Vox. I don't know anything really about Owen's family and whatever, so I have no room to comment there. And I'm not privy to Vox's business arrangements or whatever. So again, it's not like, I realize that Reddit is basically a dumpster fire for gossip and stuff. So I don't know that I'm necessarily going to be very juicy, but I'm happy to answer whatever general questions or my view on something or other or whatever. And anyway, I think it's an interesting thing because, again, from a Catholic perspective, if you think about it, Jesus Christ hung around and tried to convert whores and tax tax collectors. I'm just a mere mortal, so obviously I'm relegated to a much lower circle of hell to try and convert Redditors. So that's kind of where Horse Mumbler, I'm willing to try and have no fixed schedule, so generally around at all hours. Excellent. I tell you what then, Horse Mumbler, do me a favor. Drop me an email, which is not hard to find. If you don't have the IQ to be able to drop me an email, then you don't deserve to be a mod. And then we'll try and figure it out together and see if I can make you a mod or whatever. That would be good to have somebody to be able to, just regulate things in case they get out of hand. Also because I don't want it to be too distracting for people that maybe are following the chat. Simon the Amputee is one of my favorite guys, one of my favorite names. Takes no pity on himself. That's cool. And of course, the much more important and interesting news is that, of course, I have now got one more daughter. And she was born a day or so ago. She's healthy after she had a bit of stomach trouble. Mom is healthy, baby is healthy. Okay, Scorpio has joined Skype. Give me a second, guys, while I try and figure out how to do this stuff, because as you know, I am somewhat technologically retarded. Accept. Okay, I think Scorpio, maybe if you can just say in the chat if you're okay to talk now. What I'll do is I'll call. Oh, cool, he's ready. So I just need to switch. Give me 1 second because I need to go to a new scene, I think. Hopefully that's it. Let me see if this works. Okay.
Hello, Kurgan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Now let me see if I can try and put you on the live stream, which, as you know, I'm a little bit retarded with this stuff. So let me just see if I can do that now while it's already going.
Yes, sir. That's fine. Take your time.
Let's see. How do I do that? Oh, maybe I can switch to this. Oh, okay. Let's switch to just you. Let's see if we can do both. Aha. Let's see. How the hell do I do the... Why doesn't it let me switch? Oh, there we go. Perfect. Almost technologically, you're on the live stream now. They can see you, I believe. Just give me
Very good, sir.
Quick check. So, I've got to admit, I was a bit confused, but now I read your email, so I understand a little bit better who you are. And I did see ages ago, so I don't remember it. Forgive my not caring, but I think you did a sort of tongue-in-cheek documentary about Vox and Owen being grifters and something like that.
Yes.
So maybe you just want to introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about how much of a gamma you are and how you became one and what brought you to do the Reddit stuff and all that.
Actually, sir, I am known as the Gamma in Chief.
There you go.
So I'm rather high up in the Gamma hierarchy, if you will.
As a proper Gamma, he believes he is the Alpha Gamma. There we go. Interesting.
Yes, indeed. No, I got involved in the Reddit actually about a year ago. I was somewhat of a regular viewer of Owen, although I never went the bear route. I never went that far as to being called a bear or donating money or anything like that.
Yeah.
But one of the things, since the day that I found him, one of the things that rubbed me the wrong way, and I'm sure you can appreciate this, is his constant anti-Catholic attitude. Just horrible stuff that the man would say about the church and Catholics in general.
Yeah. Okay, I don't want to interrupt you, by the way. I do want to, but if you don't mind, as you prefer, I'd rather let you talk and then speak, or maybe interrupt a little bit in between, whatever works better for you. But I don't disagree with what you're saying. However, I think it might hit someone like you a bit more than someone like me, for the simple reason that I believe, as you mentioned in your email, you're what I call a novus orco. So you believe that Francis, who just, by the way, he's just said that we should let the homos get marriage and all that, or whatever. You know, I haven't read through the whole thing, but he's just said, oh no, we should have civil unions. You believe that Francis possibly is Pope, or Ratzinger, or any other of those heretic Freemasons. Now, I don't know if you're aware, but I'm just letting you know, I'm not trying to sell you a book. I wrote a 530-page book detailing why these guys we haven't had a proper Pope since 1958. And there's a lot of history in here that most people don't know. It's quite detailed. However, if you are what I call a novus orco, you know, what Owen says about the Catholic Church will probably hit you where it hurts. It doesn't hit me where it hurts at all, because I believe he's absolutely right when he's referring to the Norkians. The Norkians are child-abusing, molesting, fraudulent thugs. So I feel no pain. Now, I understand that he doesn't differentiate between people like myself, which were so-called sedevacantists or whatever, and the Catholics. But that's just due to ignorance, which, to be fair, most Catholics, I think, fall under that level of ignorance anyway. So And apparently, again, I don't know. I think I remember him mentioning this on some stream that he was molested, or friends of his were molested by supposed Catholic priests, Novus Orchians. So I could definitely see how. I mean, I was certainly never molested by any priests, and I rejected the Catholic Church as it stands outright, pretty much because of the Novus Orco behavior. I can't think, if the kind of personality I have, if I had been molested by a priest, I'd probably be a serial killer by now, murdering priests at every turn. But so I can relate to him being upset, But okay, I'll leave it there and let you carry on.
Yeah, as far as I know, the man was raised Catholic himself, and I'm assuming he received most of the sacraments. I'm noticing that your chat is saying there's an echo. I don't know if that's on my end. If you allow me a few minutes, let me get my headphone.
Yeah, go for it. I don't have an echo on my side. Let me quickly try and catch up with the chat, which seems to be going wild. Okay. Let me just see if there's any. This is going to be.
It might be the Skype coming through on my speakers.
I see. Okay, I don't know how this stuff works. So on my side, I hear you fine, and there's no echo on my side. But
okay, I got it in the headphones now. Can you hear me still, sir?
I can still hear you, although you sound like you're on a helicopter. But that's fine.
All right. No, as I was saying, I was listening to Owen, and of course, set me off. Now, I'm familiar with, actually, just to address what you're saying, I'm familiar with the setup position.
Okay.
I understand that you heard you use the phrase setup salvationist.
Yes.
I've looked that up as well. And a lot of it makes theological sense.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten that far into it. As I mentioned into the email, I was considered an overall, as you call it. I am a lapsed Catholic at this point.
So there's hope for you yet, my son.
It tends to happen regularly.
There you go. Well, as I said to the chat right at the beginning, or in the description of this call, I basically said, well, we're going to find out whether I managed to convert a bunch of gammas to become human beings and proper Catholics, or whether it becomes a complete dumpster fire of epic proportions. I don't know, but it's going to be interesting anyway. So yeah, if I can slowly convert you, that's just one more win for me.
Well, and that's what I'm curious about. And we'll find out as we talk about it. More through the email and whatnot.
Yeah.
But we need to come to an understanding of just what it is exactly that we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Also, what our goals are, and in the sense of converting, let's say someone like you or other gammas, what exactly would you be working towards converting us to?
Oh, well, first of all, I'm just going to give a little bit of a summary of what I wrote in my original response to you for the stream, because they don't know anything about this. They literally, I do my stream sort of like I tell them I'm coming on in 5 minutes, and then that's it. So what basically happened is Scorpio invited me to do an AMA, and then on Reddit, and then I basically replied and said, look, I've spent half a day looking through the Reddits, and it seems to me like there's about maybe 50 to 60% of the people in there seem to be like quite hateful about Owen, Vox. To be fair, the stuff they say on me is relatively minimal compared to some of the stuff I've seen about Owen, mostly Owen. Now the thing is, I haven't watched an Owen stream in probably over a year. I did watch some snippets as a result of going on the Reddit, because they've got little clips of him and that. But there is, a part of me that I'm not really. Oh, okay. This guy's saying unintelligible. I don't know if they can't hear you properly, I think.
Yeah, I think I saw someone say that without the headphones,
What about if you turn your volume down on your? Because I don't think it affect. I think the echo is probably the sound coming out of your computer. So if you kill the volume on there, it shouldn't affect you talking to us. Do you want to try
Okay, let's turn off the headphones.
Yeah.
I'm still here. Are you hearing me coming in?
Yeah, I can hear much better now. Are you
Okay.
using?
No, and I just wanted to make it aware that this is make the chat aware that this was an impromptu thing. We didn't plan this or anything, so
No.
I didn't do a proper sound check or anything. So hopefully that's a little bit better. I turned the volume down on my desktop just so I can be able to hear you.
There's a guy saying that you're gamma trolling us with echo. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But
so if that's better, we can continue. What point were we at?
Okay, they're saying that it's on your end and not on my. Okay, they're saying this will do, so I'm guessing that's better. I guess the point we were at is that I was saying like the I need to lower my end. Okay, let's see if I can do that. Or maybe I need to lower my end on Skype, or I don't know. I have no. Oh, let me see if I can do this. Is this helpful at all? No, better, worse.
How's that?
Back to the first
How is that chat? Yeah, I deal with these because I do live streams also. I started doing them about 2 months ago, and we go over gamma things. But I deal with these type of issues all the time. You know how technology is.
I've done streams before and it wasn't. That's better still. Okay. Everybody's complaining. Okay, let me just see. If I'm talking, when I'm talking and he's not saying anything, is that okay, or is it bad even when I'm just the only one talking? Both need to mute YouTube. I'm not on YouTube though.
Yeah, I have YouTube muted.
I don't have a clue what.
I don't have a headset mic. I just have the. I didn't set up my microphone nor my.
I'm just using the computer microphone. Okay, they're saying Kurgan is okay. Okay, so I'll shut up. You talk for a bit.
Okay, how is this? Is the echo still there?
They're saying it's just from you. Yeah.
Okay, well. Let me go ahead. Yeah, I'm not sure how to fix that. I don't use Skype very often.
Okay. They're saying, okay, let me try something. I'm going to mute myself and you just speak.
Okay. Are you ready now? How's that? Is that better? Is that better or is that worse? Chat, please respond.
Okay, now I think I heard it there as well now. They're saying that your gain is too high. And you gotta turn it down a bit.
All right, let me go to the settings. Yeah. I'm just
take your time while I drink some cheap ass Indian beer.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm just using the laptop mic.
Okay, somebody's saying I need headphones. I have a pair of headphones somewhere. Give me a second. Let me see if I can find a pair of headphones.
Yeah, let me. Is it really good, Coco, or are you just screwing around?
Coco's one of yours, so can't be trusted.
How long do you plan on?
Got some headphones. Is that better?
It's back. Don't mess with it. Someone's Starshine saying that's actually my in-house producer, my moderator.
All right.
Is it good? Is the sound good?
Okay. Top Feed says it's my fault, but I don't trust him because he's a gamma. I don't know. Is it better now?
That's a big improvement. Is it a big improvement on both ends? Good? Perfect? There we go. Echo is gone.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Well, hopefully the mistress of the Kurgan cult is still gonna stick around, because she said it was too retarded for her to listen to.
Oh my gosh.
But well, there we go. The immortals don't take prisoners, so if it's shitty, they just leave, which is fine. Okay, good. If it sounds better, that's great. So yeah, like I was saying, they what I basically said was that, look, there's a percentage of you guys on there that are pretty fucking evil. Like, I read about stuff like people suggesting to call child protection services on Owen and whatever, and I'm not for that stuff now. And there was one one of my favorite gamma names. I think it's a woman, but I don't know. It could be a fat Texan called Titty Salad, which is just a funny name. So he, she, it, whatever. But I hope it's a she with a name like that. But you never know. Basically said, yeah, but Owen's doing all these things with his kids. It's out of concern for his parenting or lack of parenting skills or whatever. And I'm like, come on, really? You've got a whole fucking Reddit where you're just going after a guy and hating on him. Don't tell me that your primary thing in life is like, oh, those poor children, let me call CPS. It's bullshit. You're just there to like fuck with the guy, and you want to heap as much misery as possible on him. Now, let me clarify a couple of things. I mean, I think my last stream or the one before, whatever, was, I did sentence the heretic Owen Benjamin to self-immolate by drinking turpentine. Yeah, so, and Owen does some fucked up shit. I basically stopped listening to him pretty much after the whole moon is a lamp, flat Earth, and then there was something. Although I was already kind of out of it, but I saw a piece of something where he like had this whole freak out about Nick Fuentes, which, from what I understood of it, was really just Nick saying, I don't really agree with everything the guy says. I mean, shit, I'm on record as saying that fucking Owen is retarded for talking about the flat Earth and stuff like that, and I've done that long before Nick Fuentes. I've proven that the shadow of the moon can be small. I've done it in my fucking office. It's like obvious shit, but the thing is, when I had no clue who Owen was. The only reason I came across Owen was because of Vox, and then I saw a video that Owen did. Again, this was, I think, somewhere around January of 2 years ago. I don't even remember. And I thought he was a pretty genuine guy, quite, what do you call naive, I'd think, but not with any bad intention. That's kind of my sense of the guy, and that's how I saw him. Then when he started going about the flat Earth and stuff, I sort of thought, well, maybe this guy did a bit too much fucking booze or whatever when he was in Hollywood.
Right.
But again, at heart, at the end of the day, if a guy, I actually had dinner. I had a guy come to my house as the husband of a friend of my wife, which she hadn't seen for a year. We bumped into them in a parking lot. They came home for dinner, and this guy turned out to be a flat earther. And I was like, my wife said, "Oh, I'm surprised you actually didn't throw him off the fucking balcony." And I was like, "Nah, it's no point." I could see the guy was like a KJV only, King James Version Bible only, and like the earth is flat. And I was just like, yeah, fuck it, man. You know what? I don't need this. I don't need to do this now. So, but he's not a bad person. He's a good guy to that woman that he married, apparently, for all that. That's what she says. So, I'll take a word for it. And whatever, it doesn't really affect, it's a little bit like the Orthodox arguing about the filioque. Who cares? How does that really affect your day-to-day life? Does that mean you're a bad dad or a bad friend? No. It's retarded, but whatever. And that's kind of where I saw it. And then, but it sort of put me off like a bunch of other things, because in my mind, it's not an IQ thing. I know I go on about IQ and stuff, but people think that I'm an elitist fuck because I say, oh, I'm smarter than everybody. No. I am objectively smarter than most people, but I've met people that are smarter than me, and that's not the point. The point is, if you have that level of understanding, there's just so much I can take from you that is useful, you know.
Yes.
So that's kind of where I'm coming at, and that's why I sort of stopped listening to him. Now on the Reddit, there's all sorts of accusations, and I mean, I don't know how many posts there are about the fucking firewood. And just for the people that don't know, Owen posted either a photograph or it was on his live stream. I don't know, but there's a picture of him in the car with some store-bought firewood in the background, shrink wrapped, right? And the fucking gammas went wild. It was like, oh, look, here's the heroic He-Man buying fucking firewood from the shop. Don't you know how to chop your own trees? And they posted like stuff of, people with chainsaws, like women doing cordwood, just like going on and on and on and on. Now, apparently, and again, I'm sort of relying a little bit on the gammas on this, so I don't know how truthful this is, but apparently Owen lost his shit in the Instagram feed,
Yes.
banned like 150 people by his own reckoning, for like making fun of him, like buying shrink wrap firewood, which, if that's the case, I think that's pretty fucking dumb, I mean, like, I don't give a shit if whatever, I'm supposedly super Catholic, but I don't know. I'm just gonna put like a really wild one out there. Say I have a picture of me in a threesome goes live with my wife and some other woman, and people are like, that's not Catholic. What am I gonna do? Just gonna tell you guys, no, I'm just gonna ban you? No, fuck it. I'll just be like, yeah, I'm a bad Catholic. Fuck, whatever. Not that I'm into threesomes with. I haven't done that. Not really planning to. I don't know. She brings it up. Maybe I will. I'm just saying. What's the point of trying to hide that sort of thing if that's what happened? But there's all sorts of other accusations that I am not up to speed with about. There's stuff on his kids and stuff which I don't like. I mean, whatever a guy does or says, I would never like mention like your kids. Let's say you turn out to be the worst fucking human being on earth, but your kids are innocent of whatever you are.
Sure.
Or what you do or what you don't do. So I don't know. And one of the comments was like, yeah, but Owen puts his own kids on the stream, so it's his own fault, sort of thing. Yeah, I wouldn't put my kids on the stream, but again, like I said, that sort of goes a little bit to what I meant to begin with, that I think he's kind of naive. In many ways, I think Owen is very naive. There's a lot of accusation of him being a grabbler and like having this whole Bertaria where he apparently got a bunch of money from the... And I did see a clip of him that is pretty inexcusable, where he berates the Bears for not donating enough money quickly enough. And this was a couple of months back. About I didn't see that as a result of the Reddit gammas. I can't remember what. So, I get emails, people send me shit. So I saw this of saying, he was basically saying, oh, why haven't you guys sent me more money? I've promised people stuff and now it hasn't happened. And you should send a minimum of $100. And no, I'm not making any promises. So I don't know. It sounded like very weird to me. Like, why would you give money to a guy to buy a piece of land where you've got no say in it, no stake in it, no control in it?
Right.
If you guys want to build a fucking landscape, get all together, make some rules, buy a piece there, a piece there. And I did mention this on a stream, sort of en passant, because whatever. But on the other hand, if you're the kind of guy that wants to throw $400 at, or whatever it is, or a couple of grand at some guy who says he's going to buy land for himself and maybe he'll let you on it once in a while, it's kind of on you,
Sure. And the Bears, I mean, and I realize you have Bears in your chat, but many of them seem to be naive people.
Yeah.
Themselves.
The Bears, as a group, I found the Bears to be loyal, good, positive, which is a good thing. Very few people are positive these days. Positive, good people, and friendly and helpful. Generally, I found them to be, in the vast majority, positive, good people. So,
And Kargan, if I may say, because you've touched on a lot of different points here.
Yeah, I'm going to shut up now and let you talk. I was just giving my side. Yeah.
As far as the what type of content might be on the Reddit, it's a public forum.
Yeah.
So I can't necessarily speak for all the users there. I realize in my own estimation, many of them can be a bit extreme. Many of them can cross the line, and I see that myself. we have two different Reddits that cover these type of subjects. The first one is dedicated to Owen Benjamin himself, and it's named after the man.
Yeah.
The one that I run is called r/Gamma Secret Kings, and we have our own thing. We're kind of the creme de la crop of the gammas.
Yeah,
if you will.
I got that feeling. I gotta say, it looked that way to me too.
Now, I try to, along with some of my moderators, we try to maintain some sort of semblance of order there, and we have rules, and we try to be as tasteful. But being gammas, we'll be edgy at times. But yes, I agree with what you're saying about the children. I try to stay away myself from those type of topics. But as we're talking about, we have rules, and when you come on, when you do your AMA, we will make sure that the gammas know that the rules will be in effect. Yeah. There will be a very, very respectful tone set up front. And anybody who disagrees with that will suffer the consequences.
I don't mind a bit of ribbing here and there, like kind of we're even doing now. That's fine, But anybody that mentions shit about people I care about or whatever, they can fuck right off. I mean, I don't care who they are. The other thing is, even though we're doing that now, we're talking about Owen, but at the end of the day, to me, Owen is a guy on a screen and computer. He's not. I met the guy for literally 5 minutes when they flew me up to meet him when he was doing a show and stuff. And to the credit of the people who did that and organized it, the guy who organized that, I didn't pay a cent. They flew me there, and I said, look, if I come there, it must just not cost me any money. And they did that. So, more power to them, sort of thing. And but I can't really understand the mentality of somebody that spends so much time going after. I mean, look, I did write the 530-page book on the fake fucking Catholics, but that affects 1.2 billion people. Right. So it took some months, and I wrote a book, and I'm kind of like, and now when everybody asks me anything, I'm like, fucking read the book. I've done my job, done the thing. And I will I will go after people like E.M. Jones or Taylor Marshall because they're fake Catholics and they're just grifters. And but again, it's not the fact that they're grifters that bothers me so much as the fact that they're leading people into the wrong sort of way. But even then, I can't imagine spending my days like going onto a forum to just slag some random guy off. I don't get it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just busier. People have got a lot of time on their hands, so they've got nothing better to do. I really don't know.
And I'll be the first to tell you that it is a strange hobby. But at the end of the day, we kind of touch on this in the emails.
Yeah.
It is a hobby. It's not.
Fair enough.
I mean, it's not a job. It's not. And some people put more time than others.
Some people put a lot of time in there.
Yeah. There's a lot of different characters there.
Yeah.
And but yeah, for at least speaking for myself and for many of my inner gamma circle, it's just a little pastime. And it's mostly for fun. I mean, I know that you were estimating somewhere between 5 and 45% of people that genuinely hated some of these men. Yeah. And like I said, speaking for myself, I don't hate any of these men. I don't hate you. I don't have a problem with you. Yeah. It's just something that we do for fun. I'm sure you partake in your own special way of ribbing people.
We've got our own little sort of Dread Ilk group where we're pretty fucking merciless. I mean, I've had flame wars in there about Catholicism that went to like 1,000 messages where we're like no holds barred kind of. But sure. We're an inside group. It's a closed group. Only the people that are there are there. We've had a couple of people leave. We had very few, but a couple of people got thrown out for crossing certain lines that shouldn't have been crossed. And it's a very insular sort of like what stays, what happens here stays here sort of thing. So I can understand it in that level. And some of those guys have become pretty good friends. They've given good advice. We'll try and help each other out, even, right. Financially or whatever. Like some people had through a hard time. We'll try and support them when we can, those who can. So, I understand that in a sort of a more, but like, I mean, who the fuck puts their whole life on randomly on the total open internet? I guess Owen does. So maybe it's his own fault for doing that. Yeah, it's just, like you said, we've got different hobbies, and also, again, from a Catholic perspective, although I suppose what we're doing is some of that. The point of gossiping and sticking your nose in other people's business and whatever doesn't really. It's not something I spend time doing. At the same time, I understand we are where we are in the world, so you've got to deal with what you got to deal with. And like I said, Jesus Christ saved whores and tax collectors. I have to try with the Redditors, a couple of rungs lower, but.
And I can I appreciate that in my own life. I understand my faith pretty well, as far as most people go, as orcish as you might find it. But I understand the teachings of Christ very well, and I realize that I'm also, and in addition to being separated from the church as I am now, these sort of pastimes that I allow myself to indulge in are not pleasing to the Lord, obviously.
Well, as Catholics, we know that we're bad people, so.
Sure. Oh yeah, from birth, pretty much. But yeah, and hopefully I can get my soul right before death, obviously. But for the time being, this is what I choose to indulge in, as sinful as I'm sure it is. As you said, it's primarily gossip.
Yeah.
And gossip has been a very popular pastime for thousands of years.
We do live under the domain of Satan, so yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
I see one of your. I'm guessing this is one of your top gammas here that says heckling is a lifestyle. There's a top feed Coco.
Yes, those are very true words indeed.
Yeah. It's an interactive soap opera, says Unicorn Cupcake, which I guess. Yeah.
And that is true also. That's part of the appeal for many of us, is that we can see the effects in real time. We can say something on the subreddits, and almost immediately we'll get a reaction from Owen from Wednesday.
I have to admit that having, like I said, I spent, we had basically 30 hours of waiting from when she started labor. There's not a lot I can do in that time, I give her a back rub, bring her something to drink, whatever. But so I had time for once to actually go through quite a bit of the Reddit, and I gotta say that I'd be. Let's say if I had to bet money on how Owen reads that Reddit, I would say probably daily. I would guess.
Yes,
that would be where my money would be. But whatever. Look, Owen's got his issues. Obviously, like I said, I mean, and again, I am not up to speed on the stuff, but I am aware that. He mentioned his father being gay and, his own family issues and stuff. So, now that maybe, I think some of the guys in your Reddit are saying that's all bullshit, that his dad is a fine guy. I have no idea. I don't know.
That is a popular theory, yes.
But it seemed to me, the bits that I did see about Owen talking about the stuff, he was pretty emotional about it. I don't think he's that good an actor to have faked all that stuff. So something's gone on there. I don't know what it is. I don't know, But I'm just saying, oh, Titty Salad is here. Oh, well. I really do hope it's a woman and not some fat dude in Texas. But yeah. The Catholic way, right before death. I toyed with that idea for a very long time before I got baptized. I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to do all the shit I want to do, and just before I die, convert.
Yes, and
they used to do that.
Yeah, that I guess that is the Catholic way. It's like playing with fire. Well, literally playing with fire, but many of us tend to do that.
Yeah.
Seems to be part of the tradition.
Well, like they say, like Catholics know that the only thing they could be is Catholics because we know just how bad we are. So I don't know. There's. I can't keep up with the chat. Somebody mentioned David Perkins, which I think he was quite a funny guy, but I can't remember now. Says something about 14-year-old girl. I don't know what they're talking about. Vehicular professional. Oh, there is. That's a interesting comment by a guy. Shadow Beast must die. There is no irony that people we heckle are professional hecklers themselves. Fair point.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah.
And I think that is another part of the appeal, is how thin-skinned someone like Owen can be. As you said, these are, it's just most of the time in good fun, just picking on. Now, the thing I always think about is when I first started watching Owen, he's, as you know, he espouses the socio-sexual hierarchy also. So he would claim that it is the alpha's role to pick on the lesser men in the hierarchy to make them stronger. Well, if we're doing that to Owen and he cannot handle that type of... you know what I'm saying?
I think Vox's social-sexual hierarchy is often misunderstood because... let me tell you... I'll tell you something about Vox. There you go, for your gossip column. So... Vox, when I first came across his blog, and I, honest to God, do not remember, I followed a link somewhere, I don't know, I maybe read about 3 of his blog posts, and I thought, this guy is a fucking idiot, zealot, one of those, like, what are those Baptist guys, the guys who go and like shout gays deserve death to funerals and stuff. The Balboro I can't remember.
Westboro,
there we go.
Baptist.
I thought it was kind of like that. I thought this guy is just one of those stupid zealots who thinks he knows everything. Typical American kind of, I know everything and I'm a Baptist, whatever, moron. And I read about 3 or 4 of his posts, and then at the time he still had Alpha Blog going, and I saw that he linked to that, and I thought, oh, fuck me. Now, you won't know this, but I've had a somewhat longish drive-by relationship with so-called pious pickup artists.
Yes.
Which happened only as a result of me, like, basically being a man whore. After I gave up on, like, relationships, I just thought, fuck it, and I basically nailed everything that was pretty and moved. And friends of mine or whatever started to tell me, oh, you're like those guys in The Game. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And they gave me this book, The Game. And then said, yeah, you're like this. And I read the thing and I was like, these guys are idiots. They're just trying to copy something they don't even understand. Like, what the fuck are they talking about? So I made fun of them for over the years, And the thing is, the Alpha Game stuff initially struck me as just another pickup artist bullshit. And when I came across this psychosocial sexual hierarchy, I was like, oh, fucking hell, not another one of these theoretical fucking nonsense, But the thing is, I kept reading Vox just because he writes in a way that's quite triggers, pushes your buttons. It's easy to get upset, especially if you just skim read. And after I started reading it a bit, and I thought, no, let's just actually give the man the benefit of the doubt and read what he actually says, not what you think he's saying because you think he's just like the average person writing shittily. And when I started doing that, I started to realize, fuck, the guy is actually, he's got a brain on him and he knows what he's doing. And he does write controversially on purpose, but he's also kind of right. The stuff he says is not often wrong. And you can confirm this because somewhere on his blog, I don't know how to find it, but this is before they gave me the name The Kurgan. I wrote him an email and I said, fucking hell, I actually need to apologize to you even though we've never spoken, because when I first came across your blog I thought you're a fucking retard, and actually you're not, and you do present this aura of arrogance and superiority, but that's just like filter to get rid of the people that get offended by that shit so that you don't have to deal with them. And I do the same very much in different areas of my life. And I've never been offended by arrogance. If in fact, even in my work, I've come across very arrogant people that are like, I'll tell you a story. One of my old bosses, we met with this guy and we walked out of there and he goes, so what do you think of the guy? And I said, well, he's an arrogant little prick. And my boss said to me, yeah, I agree. But that doesn't necessarily mean he doesn't know what he's doing. I said, no, maybe he's good because he's an arrogant prick. He knows what he's doing. Turned out he wasn't. He was a lying scumbag. But the point is, a person's arrogance doesn't faze me. Um, because it's not relevant. It's sort of like, how tall are you, or how short. It's a style, it's a mask. It doesn't mean anything. What is he actually saying? What can he do? What does he achieve? And the thing about Vox is it's extremely effective, and we have quite similar outlooks on various things in life, such as the fact that we both emphatically hate politically correct culture, social justice warriors, all that shit. I can't stand that crap. I couldn't stand it when it started to come out in the 90s, and I stand it even, the older I get, the more like fucking Clint Eastwood in Gran Torino I become. So, and in that respect, he's achieved a lot of stuff, what with his comic books, with the burning down of the Hugos, which was incredible fun. I'm surprised that the gammas of your Reddit aren't aware of the smoking crater that Vox did of the Hugos. That was super entertaining with the whole rabbit puppies and stuff. Yeah. And we all took part joyfully, and it was hilarious, and it still is. I mean, we have now reduced the Hugos to like Velociraptor butt invaders from space. That's now a Hugo Award fucking book, And
there's many of us that are aware of the deep lore such as that, and as we are wont to do, we use that as a point to attack Vox. But as I said, it's just something to pick on him for. We pick on him for
but I also don't like. I saw stuff about how him being a grifter and unauthorized, being on Vimeo and whatever. I'm like, who gives a shit? I mean, honestly, for like $5 a month, and I'll tell you, I really don't have a lot of time. I'm doing this now because my kids are all asleep and so's my wife, and I've got a bit of free time. But if one of them starts screaming, I'll end it right there. Which might happen quite soon. Now, the thing is, I listen basically only to stuff when I'm driving for work or whatever, and I've listened pretty much to everything that Rachel Fulton Brown says on there. Just for the medieval history stuff he's got on unauthorized, and the Tolkien stuff he's got, just for that, I'm happily paying $5 a month or $10 a month or whatever it is. It means nothing to me. $10 a month is like, fuck all. It's not going to affect me one way or the other. And for the content that he's got on there, now there's stuff on there I will never listen to if you paid me money. He's got stuff about, I don't know, some guys in Spain talking about, I don't even know what it is, like food or their dog.
Is that the Barcelona boomers? Yeah.
Okay, I have, like I said, I think I've watched 10 seconds of one, and I was like, what the fuck is this? I'm not watching that. But whatever, those are his friends or people that appeal to another group of people that I'm not one of. But it's fine, like for $10 a month. And the thing is, the people on there can pretty much say what they want. It's not like YouTube, like where if I call you a dirty wetback, I get banned. Or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like, who gives a shit? And I like that. I like that he's got it. I like Social Galactic. I like that. It's a nice group of people. He's enforced on Social Galactic. He's enforced clean speech, which I'm telling you now, 98% of all the Dread Ilk are like, what is this gay shit? Like free, clean speech. What the hell bullshit is that? We hate it. Blah blah blah. And I'm the only guy that said no. It's a good social experiment. And actually, it's produced positive results because it forces people to like think a little bit more before they write and make a little bit more of an interesting point, more funny, more entertaining, more or maybe with more information in it, rather than just using crappy language to like deal with stuff.
Sure, and I'm not invested as far as unauthorized go. I'm not invested in it in the sense that I never gave money to it to be a part of it. But I understand that people have concerns. We've had people come into the subreddit. Like I said, it's mostly jokes. It's mostly picking fun. But there are some serious topics that come in. There's people that come to us to figure out how to get unsubscribed from unauthorized because they're not getting help from Vox or for whoever is in charge of unsubscribing these people. So I can see how those people are concerned.
Yeah, I gotta say, on some things like Vox is pretty. He's not a people person, let's put it that way.
True.
But neither am I, so I kind of relate. We've got different strategies for life or whatever. You know, he does business deals and things that it just seems like so much work and hassle, and some of the people he deals with I wouldn't have coffee with or whatever, but that's his thing, you know, that's what he's doing. I mean, like, I've got friends that quite frankly should be in jail, but they're good friends to me, so, you know, I don't care.
And I don't expect you to, have those answers. But just since we're talking about it. But that's as far as my end goes. Now, we help people when we can. I mean, we've helped a lot of people get unsubscribed from unauthorized. But as far as that goes with the Gamma Secret Kings in relation to Vox, is we found something that we know we can stick him with. We found something that we know bothers him at least to a degree. So we're going to keep needling at him. We're going to keep.
So your whole point is just to piss people off. That's your hobby.
Pretty much. Most of us fit that mold. Like I said, some people take it seriously. Some people cross the line. But for the most part, we're just there to be pains in the asses.
Oh, well, I'm seeing, like, I'm sort of listening to you and reading the Titty Salad. I gotta say, that's, she's like one of my favorite, like, on the chat, just because of the name. She says it's not the service they said it was going to be. They also spam email former subscribers and make it difficult to unsubscribe. Come on. Okay. So why the fuck aren't you starting a Reddit about Bill Gates? Have you ever had anything on Windows that fucking works? I haven't. Plus, he's trying to kill everybody with his death vaccine now. But, what I'm saying is, like, come on. It's more than just, oh, you got shitty service. There's something that's upsetting the people that go on there. And I'm sure it's a lot of different reasons. But yes. My take on it is, like, that the hardcore group are probably guys that, to my way of seeing it, maybe I'm not saying this affects everybody, but to my way of seeing it, there is an element of envy or jealousy in some of these people. I don't think that's the case with you, possibly, just from talking with you now. Maybe I'm wrong, but I wouldn't think that's the case. But I've noticed this in various areas of my life. Anyone that's successful at anything, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be literally painting with your toes. It could be painting stickmen with your toes on walls. If you become good at that, you're going to have people that are pissed off about it, that hate it, that because their own insecurities make them feel like, oh, fuck, this guy can, whatever. So, and I think, the internet has allowed those type of things to fester, those type of people to...
Sure. And I don't... Now, I personally do not find much value in the socio-sexual hierarchy. I use the phrase gamma somewhat ironically.
Obviously.
But I understand that it's used to describe a certain set of people or a certain set of behaviors.
Yeah, it's not just about, sexuality or whatever. It is like how men essentially relate to each other. There's definitely value in the concept of gammas. I have come across those type of people long before I knew anything about Vox. I've come up with my own little hierarchy of things, which is much simpler than Vox. I mean, he's too detailed for I'm like, basically, there's alphas, there's a whole type of betas, which who gives a fuck because they're betas anyways. The only dangerous guys potentially are alphas, and what I call scouts, which is kind of like me, which I think translates to like the sigma of Vox, which is like people who can infiltrate other cultures, other people. They can pretend to be a beta, but they're actually quite dangerous fucks, because if you piss them off, it doesn't matter if you're an alpha or whatever, they will slit your throat in the middle of the night if they can't get you directly. And I think there's evidence for that in in evolution, human societies, because from little tribes of people that will kill each other on sight, some people must have had the ability to intermix, and those guys must have a set of skills that are a bit different from everybody else, because the average normal beta, one tribe meets another tribe in the middle of the bush, one random beta, he'll get his head caved in. So, but that was my level of division of it. He gets into a lot more detail.
Yeah, and to that end, I'm sure there are probably several Vox gammas mixed in with the gammas, gamma secret kings. So yeah, I could see how, like we've been saying this whole time, some people some people do, I'm sure, are envious. I'm sure they have very negative reasons for hanging around or posting certain salacious things. But for the most part, the regulars that I've interacted with, and like I said, I've been there for about a year now. It's mostly just in good fun. And it might be a bit risque, but I don't know anybody in my little circle that is envious of Owen or is jealous of Owen.
No, okay, fair point.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, what is there to be jealous of? The man is a mess.
I don't know. To be perfectly blunt with you, I was actually discussing with my wife with our boy, because she was worried that when the new baby came that he would be jealous, and I said, "You won't. He's a boy and he's my son. It just doesn't have that gene." I've got to admit, I've never understood jealousy or envy. It's just, I don't know, it's a piece of my brain that's missing. Maybe I'm wired wrong, whatever. I don't get it. I'm like, there's nobody else I'd rather be than me. On the good side, because, yeah, I think I'm a cool guy. On the downside, because, well, shit, if I screw up, it's my own fault, and I don't want to take anybody else's, like, credit. You know, it's like, if I do it good, then it's down to me. If I do it bad, then it's down to me, sort of thing. And to me, that's the normal way to be. But I know a lot of people are not like that. So
yeah,
I don't know.
and I wanted to say congratulations on the new child. I know you
Thanks.
mentioned that,
Yeah.
and I'm very happy for you.
Yeah, you said you've got daughters of your own, don't you?
Yeah, and I'm not sure. Is this your first daughter?
No. I've got a. This is my second daughter. I've got 2 daughters, 1 son, and a stepdaughter as well. So I've got essentially 4 kids, although I'm father to only 3 of them biologically.
Yeah, I mean, children are wonderful, especially the little girl. My youngest daughter is 6.
Oh yeah.
And that's just the light of my life.
Yeah, no,
so
they're cool.
I'm very much blessed that I am able to be, a father to children like that. But I just, it's always a blessing.
No, it is. Children are, and I started very late.
I did want to congratulate you and wish you well.
No, thank you. I did start very late. It would have been, on one hand, I think, it would have been cool if I'd had kids when I was in my 20s or 30s. But then, the kind of guy I was then, it was just, I don't know, it probably would have been bad. Same thing like with my wife. I met her like 11 years before we got together. But we both reiterate, because sometimes she said to me like, "Man, I'm so fucking sorry. We wasted so much time. If I had just been a bit smart, I would have like got with you back then." And then we just both looked at each other and were like, "It would have never fucking worked. There's just no way. There's no way. I wouldn't have taken any of your shit at all, and you wouldn't have taken any of mine. So it would have just been like, kind of what happened. Like a half night stand in bed, and then it was sort of like went our separate ways, sort of thing." But 10 years later, you've got a bit more wisdom, you've a bit more life under your belt, and it's like, it makes sense. So who knows?
Sure. And I'm getting to that point in my life. I'm just I guess it's somewhat of a renaissance for me, where I'm getting old enough to where I've already gone through all those mistakes. And now I have.
Oh, don't worry. There's more coming.
For sure. I mean, that's part of being human. But I have time now to appreciate all those lessons learned and try to move forward the best that I can.
Yeah.
So I'm late. I'm actually going to be 37 in about 2 weeks.
Oh shit! I thought you were like in your 50s.
You have to be kidding. I have those excellent bronze race genes.
Well, I don't know. If you stay that way for the next 50 years, then good on you. Otherwise, you're in the shit. I mean, no, but good. 37, you still got your whole life ahead of you, boy.
Absolutely. And you get to that point where you finally understand that.
Yeah.
I think when you're younger, you're intentionally living fast because you think you have no time left, basically.
Ah, man, the Calvin and Hobbes cartoon? There was one of them where it was like Calvin is talking to like Hobbes in his little thing that they run down the hill and they get smashed at the end. And Calvin's saying, "Man, I don't get it. like my dad does things so slowly. I mean, he's old, and the older you get, the closer to death you are. By the time I'm his age, I'm going to be going really fast. And like if you know the Calvin and Hobbes cartoons, Calvin's like a tornado basically, and like Hobbes looks at him and goes, "You're going to have an interesting life." That's pretty much kind of how I think as well. It's sort of like, shit, I'm 50, I better pack more stuff in, But there's some interesting comments on the gamma things. One guy says, oh yeah, gammas hate success. Titty Salad says, it makes more sense for me to go after low-hanging fruit than it does for me to go after someone like Bill Gates. Ken, come on. I suppose she's a girl after all. I mean, she wants an easy win. They're gammas. This is entirely an emotional meltdown, like everything on Reddit. I gotta say, Reddit is kind of the cesspool of the internet, I think. I mean, I haven't really gone into it much, but I sometimes listen to PKA, the guy who used to do FPS Russia and that, and there's a Reddit on them, and it's just as fucking filled with like gammas as the gamma Reddit. It's quite weird. In Australia, it's called tall poppy syndrome. Anyone who stands tall must be cut down. The Japanese have also a saying, the nail that sticks out gets hammered. So, yeah, I guess.
Well, I would dare say, Kurgan, that the internet in general is a cesspool.
Oh, yeah, it is.
It's very hard to find out. And I suppose Vox is trying to do that with Social Galactic to where I guess make it not so much of a cesspool.
Yeah, that's exactly why he's got the sort of clean speech thing. And you know what? It's working. I remember, I'm old enough, not like you young ones, but I remember the internet when it first came out and it was new. And you had the alt.dot forums. And yes, there was some, the trolls back then were like Shakespearean well-read gentlemen compared to the trolls of now. They were intelligent, they had knowledge, they wrote stuff that made you laugh, that was, deep. And almost all forums had some pretty intelligent conversations. And then just like anything, it started to degrade. And I think that probably because the first people that got on the internet were people that were somewhat successful, somewhat had money for a personal computer and so on.
Right.
So generally they were probably a slightly better quality of person in terms of having life experience, money, being well educated and so on. And it just degraded pretty fast. I mean, now we're at the point where it's like fucking, people don't even read. That's why we're doing this, because I could write all this shit on my blog and like 3 Russian bots and 1 hacker like on it. But you do a video where you're taking the piss out of some guy screaming about turpentine, and all of a sudden, Although I do think that YouTube is keeping my guys below 2,000, because it just was a steady little climb. Then it like hit 1,950 and it just kind of stays there. So, but who knows?
Yeah, I noticed. I've noticed a bit of growth on your channel. Like I said, I stop in every now and then.
Oh, I didn't know you were a fan.
Well, that's what I was telling you in the email, is that there are actually many gammas that have a bit of a fondness for you. And we've always
I gotta admit, I saw that in the subreddit. They made some fun, whatever, but it was pretty lighthearted generally. I mean, I posted the picture of I can't remember who did it. Where some lady told me that the woman that's sucking my head is a porn star. I honestly I don't know. She's apparently a famous porn star, but I find that funny. I mean, I actually posted it to the Dread Elk, who are all pissing themselves laughing looking at the picture. Shit like that is not. I don't care. It is what it is. But by the way, I'm just letting you know if I might, if my son wakes up or whatever, I will have to go. But we can carry on while we're good.
Yeah, and I've got a stream to prep soon, Kurgan. But I wanted to know where are we going to go from here? What are your plans as far as future communications?
Yeah, I'd say we've done this impromptu live stream. I would say maybe the cool thing to do would be for you to, if you have the time. I don't know what your schedule and that is like. Accumulate some hardcore questions from your trusted Gamma core, and then we can tell people we're going to do this live stream. And if they're not already banned, they can come in the chat like they're doing now. Try and, maybe keep it a little bit orderly just so we can read them, because I don't have super chats. I'm not monetized. I don't really know how to do that stuff. I don't care. So I try and read all the comments. But of course, if there's a lot of them, we might miss some.
Okay.
And whatever, fire away, ask your questions, I mean, I don't really see any topic as off limits, other than, like I said, be respectful, don't go after people's kids, family, whatever. And
Right.
nor am I going to answer questions on any family stuff or intimate stuff that I know about Vox. I don't know anything about Owen, so I can't divulge anything. But I've met Vox. I consider him a friend. I've been to his house several times. I know his family. So, if you're going to ask me stuff about his kids or whatever, to me, that's just instant permaban.
Yeah.
But, if you can ask me about his business stuff, but it's not like I know a lot of things. I know what he's done. I can tell you, like I mentioned about unauthorized or whatever, or his comic book stuff. I've got some of his comics books. I've read them. They're pretty good as far as comics go. And I don't know, I just don't get the general. I mean, you sort of explained it a bit, but there are some people that are, I mean, Titi Salad should just write an essay about it, whereas like, she does say, though, like, giggling is my favorite pastime, which is why I show up. I'm guessing there is an element of people feeling there's an injustice to what Owen or Vox or myself are doing, mixed in with a bit of hating our arrogance and much bigger brains, better looks, whatever.
Well, I was thinking about it earlier, Kurgan, and I think you catch a bit of the guilt by association.
Oh yeah.
Because I was thinking about it, and now we tend to go after people we consider grifters, and I was thinking to myself that you don't really have at least an obvious grift. But
No.
like I said, I think that you're in this circle of people, Vox, Owen, whatnot.
Yeah.
And you kind of catch that secondary heat.
Yeah, no, I don't have any grift. I mean, I write books, and I mention that sometimes, and people, but I can't live off my book writing. I mean, I wish I could. That'd be great, because then I could just sit on my ass and write more books. But
Right.
And I write books about topics that interest me. It's not. I've never written a book to make money as such. I write, like, for example, the Catholic Church. I think it's relevant information, and I put it together because I think people can be interested in it. All my non-fiction books are doing pretty well, really. They've all done quite well. The Sistema stuff was, again, because there's a lot of mythology around what Sistema was, the martial art. And I thought, no, fuck this. Let me just put down what I know so that people at least have got some information that makes sense, and that they, And and even in that, when I wrote the Sistema book, there were people, detractors, some people from the Sistema community saying, "Oh, this guy doesn't know anything," whatever. But over time, it stood the test of time. The Face on Mars stuff, again, it stood the test of time. And look, I know there's some stuff I talk about that's out there that for most people, like telepathy, it's like, oh, this guy believes in telepathy, he's a fucking idiot. But the thing is, there's a lot of things that sound like bullshit, and if you go into them, and you actually, there's a really good, a guy called Michael Persinger. He did a 2-hour video, which I hope you can still find on YouTube, called No More Secrets. The guy's a professor in a Canadian university, I think, and he's done a set of experiments to prove telepathy. Now, the other thing is, never mind those 2 hours thing. I know that telepathy is a thing because the fucking military use it. And I know this for a fact. They've used it to communicate with a sub under the ice, thousands of miles away from another guy. They've hooked up both people, one guy under the submarine and one guy on land, and they make the one guy on land think really violent thoughts at the guy that's in the submarine. And they're hooked up to ECGs and heart monitors and skin conductivity and whatever. And they get spikes. Whenever the guy gets a vicious thought, they get spikes in the guy that's in the sub. So doing that, they do, like, long spike, short spike, long period of thinking evil thoughts, short period of thinking evil thoughts, and it's Morse code. They can basically communicate with Morse code, and they've done that. So, you can make as much fun of me as you like, but the fact is, it's there, it's out there. Just because people don't know it or think it's science fiction, and whatever, I don't care. At the end of the day, if you think I'm a crazy fuck, who gives a shit? You're some other guy on the end of the screen, It's
Sure.
not affecting my life.
Yeah, and I just wanted to clarify. I know you mentioned at the beginning about banning me, but I did not take that personally. I didn't.
No, I didn't think you did.
Even back then, it was just I was just having fun. Just as I said, checking in to poke at the Kurgan.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And the thing is, the reason I banned you is like I was actually kind of hoping. I admit, I was kind of hoping that you would continue the little banter, but then you stepped out of your gamma line, and I just like fuck it. I don't have the time to like follow this and check and whatever. So just easier to ban people. But no, I'm glad we have this talk so that we're. So just out of curiosity, I've got a couple of questions myself. Actually. So do you just think that the whole Voxian social-sexual hierarchy is complete bullshit, or do you think it has some? Because I used to think it was complete bullshit when I first came across it, as I mentioned, because I thought it was a pickup artist thing. But over time, I've realized no. You kind of Vox is a weird guy in that you have to sort of understand how he speaks and the fact that he has got almost zero care for social cues. So he really doesn't. Sometimes he doesn't even realize he's pissing people off with the way he writes something, because he's just making an observation, and in his mind it's like, well, this is just a perfectly clear observation. Why should anybody get upset about that? I'm just saying that black people are fucking stupid. It's like, what? Wait, there's another way to say that. What are you trying to talk about? By the way, I'm not putting words in his mouth. He has never actually said that to my knowledge. But the thing is, if you actually read what he says, I know for a fact that on his blog somewhere, he wrote that. It said, I'm the first person, because I am a Christian, that believes that a baby that's about to be born, that's going to become a black lesbian, has got just as much value to God as some redneck white guy who believes only white people, whatever. What people accuse him of being, a supremacist, which is, he's actually got more genetics of your people than he does, I think, of the Vikings. But anyway. So I know for a fact that whatever his observation is, it's not on the individual. I know this because I've spoken with him. I see how he is with people in his personal life and whatever. But what he presents on his blog, if you're not able to understand how his mind works, really, it definitely. Like I said, for the first 3 or 4 blog posts that I read, I thought this guy's just a fucking idiot. He definitely isn't. He's not stupid. And he's not lying about his IQ either. In fact, I think in some ways his IQ is higher than what he says for certain things. Admittedly, he is completely retarded with spatial reasoning. He'll tell you that himself. I mean, basically his wife doesn't even let him pack the boot of the car, because it's just like, we can fit the table in there or not. Like, it's just like no clue. I think she keeps him away from power tools for the same reason. But he's. I think. Hold on a second. I might have to. Wife just sent me a message, so I don't know if one of the kids is up. Oh, give me a sec. I just gotta turn up the heating. Give me a sec.
Okay.
Okay, let me just tell her. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, as far as the socio-sexual hierarchy goes, I personally don't put much stock in it. I refer to it as Ted's tea leaves.
Okay. Ted's tea leaves. That's pretty funny.
But as far as Vox Day goes, now Vox Day is probably my favorite person to poke at.
Yeah.
So I've read him pretty extensively. I've read his blog. I've read very much of his blog.
So tell me, just open heart surgery here. Why do you enjoy poking at him so much? What is it that gives you that little rush?
I think that with Vox Day, he seems to present himself as this, like you said, a Sigma. He's a Sigma, right?
Yeah.
He seems like he's above everything,
or
at least he presents himself as such.
Yeah.
But when we can, and for the most part, he is. I'll give him credit. He's good about ignoring the gammas.
Yeah.
but when we can get that little reaction from him, it's like it
Okay.
makes it all worthwhile.
Right, but I mean, okay, but why? So am I right in, if I understood you right, you're saying you get a little rush because it's kind of pissing off a guy that seems to be high in mind. Hold on a second, I just want to. No, it's a cat or a fox outside. I thought it might be one of the kids. No, so you like pissing him off just because you think he's too high and mighty and you want to take him down a peg. Is that it?
Sure, I think that's a large part of it for me.
Yeah.
I initially knew nothing about Vox Day. I know that when I started watching Owen, that was around the time when Owen first started mentioning Vox,
All right.
and I immediately got bad vibes from all of the whatever. I didn't know the man, but I didn't. Something felt off about it. So just by association with Owen, I
Right.
started to look into it. As you mentioned at the beginning, I had to become somewhat of an expert overnight to do that documentary on him. I had to start looking into it. And I understand your friends and whatnot, but I like I said, I don't hate Vox Day. For the most part, it's just having fun. But there's a lot of things I don't necessarily like about him. There's a lot of things, and it might be misunderstanding.
Yeah,
As you say, maybe he has.
I think it is because, like I said, I know Vox personally. Like I said, he's a very friendly guy, very quite generous and quite. When I first met him was in Paris, but then I met him since. I've been at his house with my wife and by myself and whatever. And his persona on the blog, if I can present it this way, if you take Vox and you distill his thoughts on the world, that's kind of what he puts on the blog, and pretty much unfiltered, I would say, or filtered for certain things. But if you actually spend time with him, he's a very personable guy. He's actually quite. I'd say he's a lot more personable than I am, because in real life, I don't really give a flying fuck. If I don't like you, I'll just blank you. I'll be like, oh, whatever, fucking dodge this guy. He's able to, like, stick around or be polite or whatever, even with people he doesn't necessarily want to hang around with. I think he is pretty misanthropic, but the thing is, he literally is. I mean, like a couple of times that we're out there and he's like, we went for drinks or whatever, and he's like, well, it's pretty quiet around here, which is great for me because I don't really want to talk to anybody. It's just, and you almost get that feeling like, dude, because my diplomacy skills are like, are you trying to tell us to fuck off, or what? What's the deal? You got sick of us already, or But no, what he's trying to do, I think very few people are trying to do. He's pushing back at the kind of human beings that I cannot stand. Some fucking idiot telling me that, like, oh, you cannot say faggot because that is rude and it's offensive. And it's like, well, stop being such a faggot then, Like, oh, no, a fat acceptance. Like, what the fuck? Fuck off. I don't care. Die of a heart attack because you eat like a pig. And, just like if somebody says, oh, well, you're a wop and you're bald, or who gives a shit? Yeah.
Right.
I'm Italian and I don't have any hair. Who gives, if that's going to give me, like, trigger me, then I should eat a bullet just because I'm stealing oxygen.
Sure.
And I hate all that shit. I completely can't stand it. I generally despise, I'm a little bit Asperger's, so I despise liars. Look, every human being lies, right? But the people who like go out of their way to, like, do hypocritical shit, like the priest that is, like, pretending to be a priest and then he rapes kids. That guy, I want to nail gun him to the front door of this church and set him on fire after 3 days. That's how I feel, So, and I see that in the Reddit, there is an element of that with Owen. I think there's quite a few people that are saying, this guy's just bullshitting. He's done this, or he said this, and then he did X or whatever. So, to that respect, I feel I've got a question here. How does the Dread Ilk feel about Owen? Well, I can't speak for all of them, but let's just say they're not fans. Most used to be for patricians and equestrians. Now it's flooded with plebs. Let's see. Social Galactic is garbage. Bear, circle jerk, or you're banned. I don't know who Saucin is, but no, I don't think that's the case. I've had long ass flame wars with like fake Catholic deacons, and they went on for 2 months. No one banned me. Well, Unicorn Cupcake must be one of yours because it's squirt worthy.
Well, this is an interesting, and this is what I was envisioning when we were emailing.
Yeah.
Because I think that we have, not that, I mean, obviously I want to be more prepared, but I think that we have more in common, the two groups, than we do, and I might be wrong on this, but then we do have differences. I know that the Kurgan is seen as the Gamma Slayer, as I remember probably one of the first videos I saw of yours, you went on for maybe 20, 30 minutes about killing gammas and beating them over the head with rocks and slitting their throats. And
yeah, but that was in the context of the comment of the chat, of the comments on YouTube. I've been on record as many times saying that when you like do a gamma comment on my YouTube channel, you just go to the mass grave. You straight die. Right? I don't bother warning you or arguing. The occasional gamma, I let him like comment 2 or 3 times just to make an example of him, because then I'll comment to like highlight their vicious stupidity before I ban them. But generally, I'll ban a guy, just one shitty comment like that has no value. Do you know what I mean? I've had arguments with people go on in the comments for their disagreeing with me on something. That's not. I don't care if somebody disagrees with me, but bring your evidence, bring your facts, like whatever the Mars stuff, right? I did a video with like against Simon Dan where I'm telling, look, I think Mars used to have people on it. And I give my evidence for it. And he came back at me with his evidence for it. We obviously disagree. But that's fine. You can have that argument. And if we had the time, if we're going to do that argument in detail, you will both learn something. I've never had an issue with people disagreeing with me. But if you're going to disagree with me, bring some facts, bring some evidence, bring something to the table. If you're just going to disagree with me, because it's like saying, oh, I disagree with you because you're 6'2", or you're bald, or you were born in Italy. That's nothing. Like I'm not gonna waste time on that guy. He's out because who cares?
Yeah, and I'm noticing in the chat that a lot of people are having more serious questions. I just wanted to say that we're this is not really the show.
Yeah.
Well, I'm necessarily doing that. I didn't come prepared with hardball questions or anything. But before we separate, I wanted to know when do you think that you would be willing to set up the AMA?
Yeah,
let's say we do that first.
Yeah, you sent me an email about that, but I'm on the mobile, so I don't know what I need to do there. But you'll help me with that, I guess.
Yes.
The AMA, my understanding is that can go on for a couple of days, right?
Sure. Yeah. Now, traditionally there'll be like a set time period, and it's more or less an hour.
Okay.
But it can stay up in perpetuity.
Okay.
So as long as you're willing to accept questions, you can answer them.
I mean, in an hour would probably be. The thing is, it depends on my kids and that. Obviously, if they're awake or something goes on.
And it depends on the time difference also. There's a lot of users in the U.S. and all over the world. So
probably around whatever, an hour ago, whatever that is for you. That would be like my 10 o'clock.
Okay, an hour ago is 4 p.m. for me.
So your 4 p.m. or 3:30, 3:45, something like that, is usually fine, because then the kids are asleep for at least a 2 or 3 hour gap in there, usually.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So, if you can make it around, I mean, I don't care. It can be tomorrow. The only thing is I don't know how to set up the whole AMA. Is the AMA thing something I need to set up, or is it something you can set up? And send me a link.
I'll get it prepared. It's like I said, it's traditionally done. You would set it up because you're telling people, I am the Kurgan.
All right. Okay.
Such and such. Ask me
so
anything.
If you just walk me through that, then however long that takes, it can be from tomorrow on, I guess. Maybe the weekend, or I don't know, whatever. does it matter to you, like what day it is? Or?
Not necessary. No, like I said, I just wanted to get time to get everybody prepared, because you want people to answer.
Yeah.
That reminds me of you want another rather you want people to ask questions. You want it to be you want it to be a fun thing. You want to have interaction, engagement. And that reminds me of a funny story, and I wonder if you can confirm this.
Yeah.
But I've heard tale from ex-VFM that now Vox Day did a AMA, I believe it was either 2015 or 2016.
Okay.
And he sent out instructions to his VFM that he wanted everybody to come in under multiple accounts and ask him glowing questions and whatnot, because he wanted to beat some kind of arbitrary record that Milo set in his Reddit AMA.
Okay.
Can you confirm that?
I have no idea. I didn't even know he did an AMA. I got until a few months ago, I didn't even know what Reddit was or that it existed. And then somebody sent me that link, like I mentioned. And now, because of you, I've sort of spent some time on it and figured out. Oh, and no, to be fair, I'd say maybe 2 months ago because of listening to the PKA stream, they mentioned the Reddit thing, and I was like, what the fuck is this Reddit thing? So I went on there to see like one thing that they said, and then the other day when I started to browse through your stuff, I said, oh wait, the PKA guys are on here as well, and I went to check some of that out. And I mean, they make memes of the guys on the PKA stream random, I mean, these guys are just spending 4 hours every week talking about random shit. And they say, oh, Kyle has gone fat, and they make a fat meme. It's just like, what for? What is the purpose of that? It's just, like I said, it's a bit of a cesspit, but whatever. That's, yeah. So I don't know about the AMA thing. I didn't know. I saw in the Reddit one guy said the Milo AMA, but I've met Milo. I quite like Milo, but he's got his obvious foibles, let's say.
Yes.
Especially being a Catholic. But,
yes. Oh my God. Yeah. So I'll continue to email you. It's very simple. Yeah. Okay. And it's actually, in my opinion, it's more simple on mobile. So.
Okay, good. Because the simpler, the better. I'm getting to be to that old man stage. It's like, get the fuck off my lawn. So.
Yeah. So we'll set it up, and I would say, like I said, at least 24 hours notice. That way we can get a good crowd. We can get the ground rules established.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's today? Wednesday. We can do it. Can we do it Friday? Friday at 4 p.m. my time.
Okay. Friday I was supposed to do a live stream with a guy called Woolly Ram, which is actually quite interesting. How about Saturday? Is that?
Sure. That'll work. That'd probably be even better.
Okay, cool. So let's set it for Saturday at your 4 p.m., my 10 p.m., I guess. Actually, can you make it like 3:30? That's probably better.
Okay.
So yeah, so if you make it your 3:30, that's my 9:30 on Saturday, and then take it from there, I guess. Of course,
absolutely.
You have to show me how to set it up, but yeah, I'll go for it. And if Titi Salad is still in the stream, I might have to go. I'll try and put that sexy picture just for her.
Sounds good, my friend.
Cool. Well, hold on one sec. Let me just check something.
Okay.
Hey, man. Okay, I'm basically gonna go because my little girl is up and I want to give my wife a bit of a break. So
yes, sir.
But thank you very much. I really quite enjoyed this.
Yes, as did I, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. Okay, we'll speak soon, and thanks to the chat. I know there's quite a lot of you. I don't have my downvote. I get so upset when I don't get the one downvote. Thanks, and speak soon.
Goodbye, sir.
Cheers. Goodbye. Bye.